Mr. Tavis Smiley, preach it. Thank you, man. Politics in this country is crazy. You put things in perspective that even I didn't. The right is playing fast and loose with facts and scapegoating everyone under the sun, especially black and brown people. As a white man, I do not agree with this, and I am on my black and brown brothers and sisters' side. Fight the good fight. Know that I am part of the resistance. Let's fight the power.
Our freedom of speech is freedom of death. We got to fight the powers that be.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got your black.
Hey, so I'm calling your show, 'cause I need to know. Show me which way to go before I throw my man out the door.
Okay, hold on a second, Keisha. Just let me ask Ronald exactly what's going on, because it takes two to tango, and I need to hear his side of the story.
So she's driving me insane, got stress heavy on my brain. She keeps playing silly games, man, I'm about to bring the pain. We seem to fuss and fight every day and every night. Please give some advice so we can see the light, see the light.
We had a few questions that I thought were like a great place to start. Why do I always get ghosted or friend zoned after sex?
Post-nut clarity. Long story short, right? For a lot of people, the pursuit of sex is the fun part of it. And there's also studies that will show that people, particularly men, will tend to have sex with people that they don't necessarily think are good romantic partners. So in a traditional sense, women tend to have sex with people that are either equal to their standards or above their standards, whereas men tend to have sex with people who are equal, below, way below, like someone that they just met 10 minutes ago. So it's also a bit of it too, is that it's not necessarily having sex with you that changed their perception of you. It's that they already decided, you know, what capacity you guys can have a connection. And then this was just an opportunity to see if you can extend that for, 7 to 12 minutes, which is the average time it takes for people to orgasm. But I think that it's important to note that I think the decision is usually had in advance of where this relationship is going to go.
Wow.
That's how I feel. Wow. Let's be honest. Sex is the great escape. I know people don't want to hear it put that way, but guess who's going to put it that way? Zoe Williams, the voice of reason, live on KBLA Talk 1580. We about to cook with the rarest grease. You already know how I get down. Listen, this is not a monologue. This is a dialogue between you and I. I want you to call in and share your thoughts on tonight's topic. I love the way Krishnamurti described sex. He says, the one thing that the rich man and the poor man have in common is an orgasm. And in that orgasm, they both get to escape. People use sex as a distraction, as an escape from the reality of who they are. Oh, yes, they do it all the time. Tonight's topic, sexploration. Not exploration, but sexploration. Can sustained psychospiritual presence during sexual activity lead to self-realization or individuation? What are you saying? Are you asking, does Tantra actually work? Can you use sex to raise your consciousness? Oh, this is about to get deep. How do the insecure attachment styles affect your sexual desire, your kink? Huh? Oh, God, it's about to get crazy. 1-800-920-1580. Do you have trauma-coded desire? How do childhood wounds hijack adult sexuality? And if we're escaping, can sex be used as a tool for self-avoidance? How the fragmented mind uses pleasure to escape consciousness. Oh my God. 1-800-920-1580. Somebody get to the phone lines. Let's get ready, get ready, get ready, get ready, get ready. The nervous system of Eros. Polyvagal truths behind arousal, intimacy, and presence. Sacred sexuality or trauma reenactment. Do our insecure styles lead us to choose and pick people that will cause us to reenact toxicity in our life? Oh my goodness. Do we want sacred sexuality or trauma reenactment? Which one are you sleeping with now? Look at Andy. Andy upset with me tonight. Andy like, nah, man, don't come in here after sex. Don't come for sex, man. I've got to do it. I've got to do it. Is there such a thing as exotic individuation? You know individuation, Carl Jung. What did Carl Jung say? He said, hey, man, everybody has to individuate. Right? You got to merge your shadow with your mask in order to become a whole person. So I know people aren't doing that. So would that infer that there are a bunch of fragmented people out there trying to make a whole situation happen? Come on. Sex got to be the best part. Or maybe not. 1-800-920-1580. Exotic individuation. Using sex as a portal to self-realization, not self-destruction. Sex as the theater of trauma, the refuge of the fragmented, and the doorway to the self we fear to meet. Krishnamurti said the human mind is endlessly escaping itself through entertainment, distractions, beliefs, through identity, through addiction, and sex is the most socially acceptable escape of all. Nobody wants to hear put that way, Andy. But guess who gonna call it out tonight? Andy's like, man, don't do this to sex tonight. I got to do sex tonight. Not because sex is wrong, but because the fragmented mind cannot bear the silence in which it might meet itself. Thus, it plunges into sensation to drown out its own unfinished sentences. You know how you said tonight, let me slime you out. Huh? Who did that? Was that Drake? Was that SZA? Let me slime you out. Huh? They get drunk off a sensation because, boy, to sit and look at yourself as you are, the fragmented, broken, disowned self. Oh, Lord, that's a lot to deal with. Most people do not, listen to this next, listen one by one. Most people do not enter sex. They flee into it. I told you self-avoidance. Most people do not enter sex. They do not enter into sex. They flee into it. They flee the loneliness created by the images they worship. They flee the ache of disconnection from their own being. They flee the childhood terror still trembling in their bones, in their soul, in their genes, in their DNA. They flee the burden of unmetabolized grief that lives behind their pelvis. They flee the silence in which the truth of their fragmentation becomes undeniable. Krishnamurti calls this escape the escape from what is. Trauma theory calls it dissociative refuge. Tantra calls it a misuse of Shakti. Bentov calls it misinterpreted oscillation. But the diagnosis is identical. We use the body to avoid the psyche. Say it again, Zoe. We use the body, sex, to avoid the psyche. We use intensity to mute the inner inquiry, self-inquiry, right? To unravel the self. You know when you unravel the self, guess who's waiting? The disowned parts of you. We use the orgasm to tranquilize the ache we refuse to face. The anxious collapse into sexual fusion, not from love, but from terror. Listen to what I'm saying. I'm talking to my anxious, preoccupied folk out there. The anxious collapse into sexual fusion, not from love, but from terror. The avoidant performs eroticism to defend their vanishing core. Listen to what I'm saying. 1-800-920-1580. Get to your phone lines. Get ready, get ready, get ready, get ready. The disorganized eroticizes danger because chaos feels like home. You think those insecure attachment styles aren't following you into the boudoir? The voice of reason is on complete fire tonight. You already know what it is. Get to your phone lines. 1-800-920-1580. I want to know. They are attachment wounds masquerading as desire, as kink, as freakiness. Krishnamurti would say the problem is not sex. It is the fragmented observer who brings their inner division into the erotic field and then uses sex to distract from their own internal conflict. You know what? Because people aren't having these conversations, I get a lot of pushback. You know what kind of pushback I get? Oh, Zoe, this is too deep. Oh, Zoe, ain't nobody thinking like this. And this is why everything is mediocre. This is why obsolescence is built into your relationships. What is obsolescence? Over time, the relationship loses the spark. Over time, the relationship begins to break down because what you've been doing starts to get old. Why do things have to be renewed? My cell phone needs to be renewed. It's an inanimate object. It is a piece of technology. Why does it have to be renewed? Because it's a machine. We are spirits covered in skin, yet our relationships have to be renewed. Why is that? Where's your intuition? You should be able to answer that. Why do our relationships have to be renewed? Why do they get old? Can anybody answer that? Call in 1-800-920-1580. It is the fragmented observer who brings their inner division into the erotic field and then uses sex to distract from their own internal conflict. When the mind is escaping, listen to what I'm about to say, because this is the answer to the question. When the mind is escaping, it cannot love. In other words, Krishnamurti is saying, if the mind cannot deal with themselves as they are, who I am as I am, accepted fully, completely, with no judgment, no condescension, right? No suppression, right? No repression. This is me as I currently am. If the mind cannot do that with self, it cannot do that with another. When the mind is escaping, it cannot love. It cannot know love because it is fragmented. Love is wholeness. Oh, this is why so many people don't know what love is. Most sexual longing is not longing for the other. It is longing for the parts of ourselves we've abandoned to survive our childhood. Who am I talking to tonight? Andy, is it relevant? Does it make sense, Andy? Andy thought I was going to come in here on something else, but I'm on something wild tonight. We use sex as anesthesia. You know how hard the day been? The boss man been talking crazy? What? Bills getting skipped? I'm going to pay this bill, but not that bill. I'm going to push that bill. You know how difficult it is? You know you better give me a little something tonight, girl. I need a little tater taste. You understand? A little slap and tickle will get me past this difficult moment. Escapism is all around us. Let's be honest. It is not longing for the parts. It is the longing for the parts of ourselves we've abandoned to survive childhood. We seek in another's body the wholeness we have forfeited within ourselves. The tragedy is not that people have sex unconsciously. The tragedy is that they believe sex will deliver them from the self they refuse to examine. But here lies the paradox. The same sexual encounter used as escape can become the very portal Krishnamurti describes as choiceless awareness. Ooh, choiceless awareness. If presence is maintained, if sensation becomes observation, not anesthesia, sex becomes the mirror from which the mind can no longer turn away. The body cannot lie. The breath cannot hide. Arousal cannot pretend. You know what I mean? People pretending under the sheets. First off, the blue pill helps us pretend. Everybody on that blue chew. That ain't really you. That's medication. Oh, I'm sorry. I digress. Arousal cannot pretend. Sex becomes the one place where the fragmented self is forced to reveal its fractures. And if awareness stays ready, not clinging, not escaping, not seeking climax as observation, or as oblivion, the erotic becomes a direct encounter with the truth of one's own being, not the ego, not the trauma script, not the persona, the mask, but the unfragmented observer behind it all. This is sexploration at its deepest point. Sex not as an escape from the unhealed self, but as the combustion chamber through which the self is finally met. When we come forward, the voice of reason, I'm going to the phone lines. I want to know what y'all think. Let's get it.
Reasons. The reasons that we're here, the reasons that we fear, our feelings won't disappear. You're listening to the voice of reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk 1580.
All I need is one mic.
With a KBLA Talk 1580 editorial, I'm Tavis Smiley. Let me be clear about what we're witnessing here. A textbook case of talking about communities instead of talking with them. Pedro Pizarro, president and CEO of Edison International, found time this week to sit down with the LA Times to discuss their so-called fast pay program for those impacted by the Altadena Eaton Canyon fire. We think it is neither fast nor fair, but when we organized the community town hall, Southern California Edison first confirmed participation and then abruptly canceled. There was no time available on Mr. Pizarro's calendar for a face-to-face conversation with the individuals and families who have lost everything due to the negligence of Southern California Edison. This is not an accident. This is a choice about who deserves direct engagement and who gets managed through press statements. When you talk to the LA Times about people, you control the narrative. You get to frame the issues on your terms, with your spin, filtered through journalists who may or may not push back. But when you show up to a town hall, You face real questions from real people experiencing real problems. There's no PR buffer. There's real accountability. This pattern of being available to corporate media but unavailable for community dialogue sends a clear message about whose voices matter and whose don't. It's the kind of disrespect that hides behind busy schedules and prior commitments, but the community sees right through it. If these issues are important enough to discuss with the LA Times, they're important enough to discuss directly with the people living them. Anything less isn't just disrespectful, it's a fundamental failure of leadership and accountability. Mr. Pizarro says in the LA Times interview, I need to go to the supermarket in Pasadena or Altadena and be able to look people in the eye. We want to do the right thing for our community. You had a chance to look folk in the eye at our town hall meeting last week, but you didn't show up. And then we invited you for a one-on-one conversation here at the station, but you have yet to confirm. So please, please stop with the gaslighting. With the KBLA Talk 1580 editorial, I'm Tavis Smiley, and as always, we welcome your feedback.
You know you want some more. It's the voice of reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk 1580.
So lonely that you felt like you were the only one in this world. Have you ever wanted to play with someone so much you take anyone, boy or girl? Anastasia, come to me, talk to me, ravish me, liberate my mind. Tell me what you think of me. Seemed like the only way. So I danced. Music late, nothing great. No way to differentiate. I took a chance. Gregory looks just like a ghost, and then a beautiful girl the most. Wets her lips to say we could live for a little while. If we could just learn to smile.
Can the mind, again we must come back to the point, can the mind understand the nature of pleasure and its relationship to love? Can a mind that's pursuing pleasure, ambitious mind, a competitive mind, a mind that says, I must get something out of life, I must reward myself and others, I must compete. Can such a mind love? It can love sexually. But is love of sex, is that the only thing? So, and why have we made sex such an enormous affair? Volumes are written on it. Unless really one goes into this very, very deeply, the other thing is not possible even to understand. We can talk endlessly about what love is not, theoretically. But if we use the word love as a mirror to see what is happening inwardly,
Wait, pause. I know you get caught up on his accent and his heavy. If we use the word love theoretically as a mirror, listen to, bring him back in.
To see what is happening inwardly. And I inevitably must ask the question whether it's pleasure in its multiple forms. Can a man who is top executive got to that position through drive, through aggression, through deception, through ruthlessness, can he know what love is?
Can you know what love? Come here. Come here. Come here. Come here. The voice of reason is on fire tonight. I know you don't want to hear it put this way. Zoe has to do these types of conversations, man, because there's so many people who don't want to be awakened. I'm the type of kid that'll come by your bed and throw water on it. I'm gonna wake you up with the truth. That's what this is tonight. Sex is not about pleasure. Sex has never been about pleasure. Sex, listen to this, is the nervous system negotiating with its own ghosts. You call it desire, but your body calls it unfinished business. You call it chemistry, but your brain calls it survival. We already know now. Insecurely attached folk attach better with other insecure folk. You know what I'm saying? Oh, no, that's not true, Zoe. What? You'll see. Listen, if a secure person is not ready to deal with an insecure person, that secure person can be pulled insecure. If an insecure person is ready to deal with a secure person, then that insecure person can then recontextualize their insecure attachment style. But let me tell you something about confronting people with the truth about themselves. You're going to get pushback first. See, one of the coldest pieces of pushback is this: I wasn't ready. I want to do it on my time. That's control. Every time they produce time, well, the timing wasn't right. No, God will hit you when you least expect it. You will meet somebody that you wasn't planning on meeting. You'll run into a situation that you wasn't planning. What do you think a car accident is? You didn't leave the house planning on running into somebody, but it happened. Do you understand? When we get together spiritually, right, these psycho-spiritual accidents are designed to grow us up. When we come forward, the voice of reason is going to the phone line. I want to talk to y'all. Let's get it.
Relationships. Got you confused? Need some straight talk? This is where you get the unfiltered truth about love, relationships, and everything in between. He breaks down relationship dynamics with no-nonsense wisdom and practical advice that actually works. Tackling the questions you're afraid to ask and giving you the answers you need to hear. You're inside the voice of reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk 1580.
I'm Amber Payton with BIN News Now. A new report says young Americans are struggling to buy homes. Experts say the vast majority of young Americans cannot buy a home without a lot of help.
And if they're not subsidized by their families or parents and able to, contribute to buying a home, you forget about it.
For the Black community, only about 44% of Black households own their homes compared to roughly 65% nationwide. Friday is National Ruby Bridges Walk to School Day. Schools nationwide will honor Bridges' historic role in desegregating Southern schools. In 1960, at just 6 years old, she became the first Black child to attend an all-white elementary school in the South. And a security guard who lost her assault case against rapper Cardi B is asking for a new trial, but Cardi's lawyers called the motion baseless. A hearing is set for December 5th. Get BIN News Now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
Joe Buck and John Smoltz welcoming you back to the City Center Convenience Mart. Uh-oh. She's looking at the cigarettes, but she just grabs the gum off the counter. Stand Up to Cancer and Rally want you to reduce your risk for cancer. Go to takeahealthystand.org.
At the tone, please record your message.
You ready? Drop it! Mr. Tavis Smiley, preach it. Thank you, man. Politics in this country is crazy. You put things in perspective that even I didn't. The right is playing fast and loose with facts and scapegoating everyone under the sun, especially black and brown people. As a white man, I do not agree with this, and I am on my black and brown brothers and sisters' side. Fight the good fight. Know that I am part of the resistance. Let's fight the power.
Our freedom of speech is freedom of death. We got to fight the powers that be.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got your black.
Yo, it's Zoe Williams, the VOR, and I know you're tired of pretty gems with pretty lies, where people seem to scroll more than they sweat. Well, it's time to level up. Welcome to Huff and Puff, where excuses die and champions rise. Smack dab at 1221 North La Brea on the corner of Fairview. This ain't a photo shoot, it's a battleground. Certified achievers in the game. Trainers who grind with you, not post pictures beside you. Whether you're chasing your next personal record or just trying to outrun your past, this is your sanctuary of sweat. No mirrors, no filters, no fluff, just pain, passion, and purpose. Stop talking, start training, huff hard, puff loud, be legendary. Where folks go to war with their weaknesses. Huff and Puff.
An official message from Medicare.
Couple more minutes and we'll start this month's book club.
You know, I usually love a plot twist, but this year, I'm comparing my options during Medicare open enrollment.
You can't assume your current health or drug plan is the best one for you.
And you gotta make sure your drugs are covered. That's important.
So is saving money.
Review all your options at Medicare.gov. Open enrollment ends December 7th. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. The Los Angeles Regional Food Bank is on a mission to fight hunger and provide nutritious food to those in need across our community. They partner with federal, state, and local programs advocating for better policies and funding for critical hunger relief programs like Cal Fresh, the Emergency Food Assistance Program, and the Child and Adult Care Food Program. The food bank works with coalitions and local representatives to make sure hunger is addressed in every district of LA County. They also run nutrition education campaigns, raise hunger awareness, and source nutritious food for distribution, all while supporting regulations that allow food pantries to operate safely. Want to help? Visit lafoodbank.org or call 323-234-3030 to volunteer or find a food bank near you. Together, we can ensure that no one goes hungry in Los Angeles County. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Hey there, Los Angeles. This is James Lucky Jr., publisher and editor of Los Angeles News Observer. Are you hungry for news that matters to you in the African-American communities of Los Angeles? Well, buckle up, because we got the scoop you've been craving. Stay in the know and never miss a beat with our free weekly publications conveniently available near you. Or hop on the digital wave and become an exclusive subscriber at OGNSC.com. Don't forget to join the party on Instagram and Twitter at OGNSCINC for behind-the-scenes access and sizzling updates. No more FOMO. Let's stay informed, connected, and empowered together.
This is KBLA Talk 1580. Talk radio. That's music to your ears. We're unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580. You're listening to the voice of reason with Zoe Williams. Only on KBLA Talk 1580.
So fierce you look tonight. The brightest star appeals to your sex. Before we do anything, let me just talk to you. When two are in love,
They'll whisper secrets only they two can hear when two are in love. When two are in love, their stomachs will pound every time the other comes near. When two are in love. When two are in love, falling leaves will appear to them like slow motion rain. Slow motion, slow motion. When two are in love, the speed of their hips can be faster than a runaway train. Drop, drop, drip, drop, wanna come bathe with me. Let's drown each other in each other's emotion. Bathe with me. Let's cover each other with human emotion. Bathe with me.
That I left home at 17, totally unequipped for life. I went from failed relationship to failed relationship, and even more trauma, 2 date rapes. It was as if I had a neon sign above my head signaling predators. Something had to change. I had to change. I only have control over me. So I analyzed, I assessed, what am I thinking about? What are my views about love and sex? I call that a love perspective. What are those things? Well, they're family, they're religion, they're society, gender, life experience. These things, they contribute to our beliefs and our behaviors. So, I started at the beginning, at my conception. Because, you see, intimacy, it begins at infancy. And if you're like me, at home with my mother, who bore 12 children by 10 different men, I felt like just another damn mouth to feed. So, empowered by my warrior goddess, I reparented. I nurtured. I encouraged myself to open up to the most transformational energy that we know, love. Because just how we learn and grow in our lives, in our careers, we have to do so in our relationships. Many of us, we devote more time to Game of Thrones and Scandal than we do to our loved ones, to those we love. And like any living thing, with neglect, it can wither and die. So I'll leave you with this. With everything that we are dealing with in society today, sexual assault, domestic violence, we are facing our demons. But like Mother Teresa says, we fight for, not against. And if I can stand here before you and tell you my story, talk of my challenges, then I know that you can go forth and create intimacy in your lives. Thank you.
Man, that was Kat Smith. That was her TED Talk. And she literally said everything I said. She said, intimacy begins in infancy. So does your attachment style. Do you see? Just because, listen, don't you know insecure attachment can feel good, you know? I'm talking about in terms of the sex, right? But see what's happening. How do you weaponize sex, right? What was withheld from you, do you withhold in the bedroom? Sex is also a mirror. You heard Krishnamurti said, let's take the word love metaphorically and use it as a mirror. Do you see? Let me get this caller in here. You already know what it is. My brother, your brother, from the Big Island, Mountain View, Hawaii, John Gilbreth the second. John, what are your thoughts on tonight's topic?
Okay.
I heard you chose violence.
Before I go there, I'll use your words and start it off. Hold on, pimp.
Hold on, pimp.
Now let the violence begin. Sir, I have learned the lessons between my animus and my anima to understand the difference and the individualization of me. To get to this point, to actually now understand that even in my service in a sexual nature, because it's not just for me. It's never really been for me. If I was trusting someone to come into this nakedness, this mirror reflection sea, for me to actually give unto this individual me, for me to also now understand, now I got to bring a strap on into it again.
Oh, God.
It was a challenge for me in the understanding of my feminine side. The one who did not get this explanation from mom, pop, or anybody else. I had to find this information out by myself. So when I finally did understand it, had to rewrite the story. Now you're telling me I'm back in the same spot by myself again? I'm getting ready to throw this phone at you, sir.
Don't throw it at me. I want you to find a mirror and then throw it at that damn mirror. Don't throw it at me.
We understand all. Again, the demon was sparked. He jumped up. And I'm like, hey, wait a minute. It's been a while since you jumped up. Wait, what are you doing? What are you doing? You did this over my food, sir. My neighbors are sitting at their windows wondering what I'm yelling about.
Okay, so let me pull it back. Let me just reframe for you.
Come on, sir.
Okay, we're at the crossroads, right? One road leads to traumatic reenactment. Constantly attracting the same people, having the same kind of relationships, toxic lessons being replayed over and over again, but the sex is good. Y'all have heard it in the hood before, right? Oh, the crazy ones got that good. You've heard it, right?
Okay, I've heard it, never experienced it, but keep going.
Then there's this other road. You mean to tell me you can use sex as a tool for self-actualization, self-realization,
yes, sir.
Evolution? That's the point. Tantric, we can manifest with sex. That's what we're talking about here. And why you mad?
Understood.
Because I said, which road are you taking, John?
It's not me taking that road because, again, the simple fact that we are both bringing ourselves to this one place that we are looking for it to go up and not down.
Wait, you stay right there, John. You hold tight. Oh, no. Listen, ladies. I want to hear from the ladies tonight. The number to dial is 1-800-920-1580. It's a discussion. It's not a monologue. I want to hear your thoughts on this topic because John is playing. When we come forward, more from the Big Island.
Is it good to you? More Voice of Reason with Zoe Williams when we come forward.
There's nothing like when you get that part from eBay and it just fits. Yeah, the first time. So you can do less of this and get right back to more of this. At eBay, you'll find all the parts you need, guaranteed to fit, at prices you'll love. Sounds good, doesn't it? eBay. Things people love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
An official message from Medicare.
Medicare plans change from one year to the next. And this year, it's important for you to review your current coverage and compare all your options during Medicare open enrollment. Compare health plans, drug coverage, and costs. See if you can save some money, and don't forget to make sure your drugs are covered. Open enrollment ends December 7th. Visit Medicare.gov or call 1-800-MEDICARE.
Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. Worried about eviction? You have rights, and Stay Housed LA can help. Stay Housed LA is a partnership between LA County, the City of Los Angeles, and local service providers. From Lancaster to Long Beach, we're here to help you with tenant education workshops, legal clinics, free legal services for eligible tenants, and online resources about tenant protection laws. Don't face eviction alone. Call our hotline at 1-888-694-0040. That's 1-888-694-0040. Or visit stayhousedla.org. Stay Housed LA, keeping Los Angeles residents in their homes. Stay Housed LA, your rights, your home, our community. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
The California Crusader newspaper would like to thank all of our subscribers for their support throughout the years, proudly serving the South Los Angeles and South Bay areas for more than 40 years. The California Crusader is a multicultural, black-owned, adjudicated newspaper that focuses on providing newsworthy information to the people in our community. We're constantly looking for ways to assist businesses in our community to connect with our subscribers. We provide low-cost, effective ways to promote your business with our reasonable and affordable advertising rates. You can participate by suggesting, sharing, and submitting your stories on the California Crusader newspaper Community Share Facebook group page, or visit our website at cal-cruise-news.com. That's calcruisenews.com. Then click on the Submit Now button located on the top right corner of the homepage, or text CCN to 42828. Again, text CCN to 42828. The California Crusader newspaper, working together to build a better community for our future. Subscribe today.
You know you want some more. It's the voice of reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk 1580.
Get ready. Ladies and gentlemen, you're listening to the easy grooves of Zoe Williams' playlist. The sexiest playlist on the radio in Los Angeles tonight. We're talking about love, sexuality,
Well, welcome to another Friday night. We're winding down our series on the prisons that come out of complex trauma, the things that were necessary survival coping patterns in childhood in order to survive the abuse or neglect, but what have become now in adult life big problems, causing issues in relationships, jobs, hurting others, hurting ourselves. And what happens for many people is they go to try to stop doing it, but something keeps drawing them back into repeating it. It becomes like a prison. And today I want to talk about the potential that happens for many with complex trauma is to begin to confuse sexuality as being love. And this is, to me, a talk that I've touched on 4 or 5 different times because sexuality is such a big component for many people in recovery that they need to think through, that they realize is unhealthy in their life. And so I want to come at it from a little different perspective today that I hope is really helpful. I want you to know up front a couple things. Number one, I want you to know that I'm not going to approach this in moralistic terms. What I've seen over the years is that for most people coming out of complex trauma, it affects their sexuality in negative ways. And for many people coming out of complex trauma, they're not even aware of that. But when they get to adult life, they begin to realize that they have some sexual behaviors that they realize are unhealthy, that are hurting themselves, that are hurting others. And they go to want to stop it, but something keeps, every time they're triggered in certain ways, they just go back to those unhealthy sexual behaviors. So it's realizing the unhealthy sexual behaviors that come out of complex trauma that is our focus today. Now, what you begin to realize when you work in this field is that sexuality is a massive subject. And what they're realizing from research is sexuality affects almost every part of our life. So one of the things we see with complex trauma is it affects our brain, our immune system, our nervous system, our physical health. It just touches every part of what makes us human. What we're seeing with sexuality, it's almost just as powerful. It affects almost every part of what makes us human. It affects our nervous system, our body, our brain, our relationships, our regulation stress system, or it's involved in attachment. It's a somatic type of thing that affects the brain. It's just one of the core areas of major impact on our life, and we're extremely vulnerable because of it. And so it really merits our attention. And for many people, they don't realize that till adult life, and then it kind of demands their attention because it's starting to really do damage in their relationships. So I just want you to see up front.
Hey, straight fire. Is he not explaining everything that we've talked about in the first hour here? My brother, Pastor John, calls in. He wants to choose violence. So I got to get the clinical support to back what I already said, brother. Now come on in here and finish choosing violence with your brother.
Okay, sir. The bottom line is I didn't get out of this situation to find myself coming back to the situation ready to rape myself.
Wow. That's heavy.
And that's the reason why I brought the dildo off in it. We can throw it away now.
Hey, what is going on? But do you understand what we're talking about tonight in this regard?
I clearly understand it. It's just it kind of got on my nerves just
Why?
a little bit.
But why?
Due to the fact that, again, I have reserved myself for 7 years. I have been working on this thing to get it right.
So you got triggered. Embrace the trigger,
Yes.
brother. There we go.
And I understand that. I get it. And my capacity to understand those things, but my monster jumped up. And I got to control that joker too.
See, hold on. Don't let your monster jump up on the topic now. I'd hate to see when you get back in the world. Hold on. Hold tight now. Here's the real thing, though, John. If you can't be unconditionally free in the sex act, are you just a prisoner to yourself, to your wounds, having sex? And if that's the case, are you escaping in that moment? Does the orgasmic experience offer you a bit of respite away from everything that's in your spirit? Do you understand what I'm saying?
Understand it clearly. That's the reason why I continue to bring up the word rape.
Why?
Because
why we got use
anything that you're trying, because basically it's something that somebody else does to you that's unwanted.
No, but you're an active participant.
I understand that completely. But if I'm lost in my own sauce, i.e. the depths of my own sickness, and I'm inviting someone into that very same sickness, and now we're looking at each other like we've done each other wrong, how do you doggone program them? And there's no such thing as that, because you have to accept them for who they are, working on this situation or not.
Here's the thing, though. Whatever they got going on internally is really none of your business. You can't control it. Now, but at the same time, there's this mirror effect of relationships. So you're saying, wow, there's this disconnect. How do I control them? How do I, try to get them to do that's a monumental Herculean waste of time. What you should be doing is observing yourself and say, how am I showing up? Just like just now, you called and you said, man, I was triggered. I'm choosing violence. So self-observation in that moment, what triggered me? Where did this conversation take me? What happened? What misunderstanding happened? What disconnect happened? And did this conversation take me back to that moment? Now it's time to deconstruct that moment to figure out why it's still a tender spot. Tendernism.
Jesus Christ. Do not remind me of food, man. Anyway.
But you understand what I'm saying?
But I understand exactly what you're saying, sir. It's just, again, the triggers brought me back to a place to where I thought I had did the work. While I'm expecting, and it's not a sickness to expect something, because again, I expect to give somebody provided necessary love, as well as to receive it my own self, not from them.
Give it as if, let me just say it, bro. Give it as if you're the lighthouse of God itself. Don't worry about getting it.
Totally understand that. We've crossed that hurdle.
All right. You know I love you,
we are.
You my big brother. I love you. I respect you. You already know that. And I love sparring with you. Guess what you just did, Pastor John?
Mountain View is in the house. Love you more, sir. And again, while the government is finally off the finances, we'll start contributing the same way again.
We love you, brother. Thank you for the call. If you want to bring your city in the building, all you got to do is call me at 1-800-920-1580. When we come forward, we're going to go to Los Angeles. We got Los Angeles on the line. Do you want to bring your city in the building? All you got to do is call me, 1-800-920-1580.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
I'm Amber Payton with BIN News Now. A new report says young Americans are struggling to buy homes. Experts say the vast majority of young Americans cannot buy a home without a lot of help.
And if they're not subsidized by their families or parents and able to, contribute to buying a home,